To the Alex G. Spanos Center, live from Stockton, California. Today it's Pacific Tiger Basketball preseason edition as the Tigers will host the Weber State Wildcats on Education Day here on campus. About 3,000 to 4,000 elementary-aged middle school kids will be in attendance for this one, and it's a late arriving crowd to some extent, but expect a very loud, noisy Spanos Center today for an early 11 a.m. tip. My name's Don Gubbins. We welcome you into Pacific Tiger Basketball as the visiting Weber State Wildcats will be introduced. First out is a 5'9" guard, freshman out of Medford, Oregon. Her name is Ula Chamberlain, the leading scorer at 11.3 points a game. Joined by Corey Pencer, a 5'9" sophomore guard out of Melba, Idaho. In the post, big number 5, Sierra James, 6'2" sophomore out of Clackamas, Oregon, averaging 9 points a contest and the leading rebounder, 6.3 points a game. Kayla Watkins will be joined in the starting lineup, a 6'2" junior forward. She's out of Seattle, Washington, 5.5 points a game, 4.3 rebounds a contest. And then Liz Graves rounds out the starting five, a 5'10" guard, redshirt junior out of Mapleton, Utah, 7.3 points a game. Again here, somewhat unexpected before the Tigers can get introduced. That's the head coach of the Weber State before we get to the Tigers. Valeda Harris in her second year with the Weber State program. 6.28 overall last year. They won 3 of 17 in the Big Sky Conference. Here with the program, Valeda Harris. The Tigers will be introduced wearing the home whites today, while Weber State will be in the traveling purple uniform. Those jerseys and shorts color with the black and white Tigers wearing the home whites. Video will be playing before the starting lineup. Bradley Davis will take a little bit of change. She's been battling a cold, and I don't believe she's going to start. We'll double check though momentarily as they're going to come out right now. Bradley Davis, of course, in his 5th year with the Tiger program. Pacific at 2-1 coming into play today. Weber State at 0-3. Brooklyn McDavid, the first out, the WCC Player of the Week. Tremendous performances last week. Oregon State 32 points and at Drexel 25 points on Saturday. Also in the starting lineup will be Josephine Miard. She'll get the start in lieu of Higgins, the 6'2" sophomore out of Nancy, France. McDavid, of course, a 6'1" junior out of Studio City. Sophie Triggensen, the redshirt senior, 6-footer out of Aarhus, Denmark. Then Jessica Blakesley, the senior for the Tigers. Senior wing. Blakesley is 5'10" senior out of Mercer Island, Washington. And Kaylin Rondala rounds out the starting five. The 6'2" sophomore guard out of nearby Turlock. Went to Pittman High School. Bradley Davis in his 5th season with the Tigers program. Assisted by Amy Starr. Amanda Brown, Lindsay Moore. Director of Basketball Operations is Amanda Leland. The head trainer, Sarah Vargas. And Gina Luoulu Summers, the Director of Video Coordination this year. Gianna back with the Tigers program. I may have said Gina. My apologies. Gianna, of course. Melissa Barlow with the whistles, and she is joined out on the court with Nicole Leon and Shante Anderson. It'll be Brooklyn McDavid going up against the 6'2" Kayla Watkins, and Weber State with the controls the tip. They'll get the ball first. Tigers man-to-man pressure. Up top as Chamberlain gets a pick, then her bounce pass is deflected. Regains control near the mid-court stripe, and into the offense go the Wildcat. Pencer looking inside. Her ball is deflected and stolen by Rondala. Triggensen got the deflection, got her hands on it, and then Rondala got the steal. Weber State has had a miserable start to their season, 0-3. They've played some tough teams. And here's a McDavid. And around right wing shot is good. McDavid continues to scorch the net. She is shooting an impossible 73% from the field this year. And in the backcourt, the Tigers show some pressure and get an immediate turnover on the Wildcats. That's 2 for 2. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers. The Wildcats are turning it over 29 times a ball game. They're just got way too much youth out there due to injuries. And boy, it's just a tough go for the Wildcats right now. Randall gets all the way to the rack and misses with a left hand at the rim. She'd like to have that one back without question. So Randall misses the short range shot on the nice dribble penetration. And Weber State with the basketball, trailing 2-0. Played a minute, 10 seconds. Tigers get another reach in. The ball goes up in the air, stolen by Blakesley. Again, active hands by the Tigers. Randall into the low post to McDavid. She's going to take it one-on-one, then a kick out for a Trigginson three that is halfway down before it pops out, but with a rebound is Miard of Pacific. Offensive board for the Tigers. They'll reset it. Now Rondalla launches from three. Over the rim, no good. Blakesley crashes the board, had it for a moment, and then Weber State controls the boards. And up come the Wildcats. Well, the Tigers had a couple of good opportunities on that possession. Neither one of them went down. Petzer looking for a pick. Gets it on the right wing by James. Now they go up top to a dribble penetration by Kayla Watkins and scores with the right hand. Watkins out of Seattle, Washington. Not shooting the ball well. Only 20% from the field. There's a long distance wing shot that, I don't know if it was partially blocked. It was an air ball there. I believe it was Blakesley who shot that in transition. Now on the other end of the court, Tigers going to get whistled for a blocking foul as Weber State hustled the ball up the court. See who it's on here. McDavid's going to come out right away for a breather, and then that gets Savannah Whitehead in for the Tigers. One of 2 Utah products on the Pacific squad. They've been eyeing this ball game for a while, and there's a left wing three by Kayla Watkins that scores. Watkins is only shooting 12% from the three-point line. Got that one to go, and Weber State has the lead at 5-2 with 7.5 to go here in the opening quarter. Rondalla up top. She'll fire it from distance. No good. A little bit short off the iron. And Weber State with the rebound. Up they come in transition. It's Liz Graves. Backs the dribble off, works against Randalla. Now up top to James. Over to Pencer. She'll fire it in from three. On the right side angle, Pencer, a 25% three-point shooter. And Weber State up 8-2 here. We've played 3 minutes at the Spanos Center. Josephine Miard pull up 15-footer inside the free throw line. No good. And Weber State controls the defensive boards yet again. Tigers will need to get on the offensive glass here against the smaller Weber State squad. Down low, Watkins dribble penetration, loses control, and goes off of the Tigers out of bounds. Pacific will stay on the defensive end. Randalla comes out. Leanna Tillman will check in for the Tigers. Tillman, a 5'9 junior out of Stockton right here. Went to Lincoln High School. That was a inbound by Weber State. The inbounding player had her foot on the court. The referee was not looking down and missed that. Here's a shot in the corner, no good, short. Tigers with a rebound. It's Trigginson. Brings the ball, right-hand dribble up to the forecourt. Blakesley on the right wing, comes on top to Whitehead. Tigers deliberate, looking for posting the yard on the left block. Don't get it, so they go on top to Trigginson. She'll fire from three, misses it left, no good. And the Tigers with some tough shooting woes here in the early start of this ball game. Weber State's going to get another three on the left wing. That one's short. Whitehead gets the rebound. 8-3 Wildcats. Here's Tillman driving in the lane. Wild shot misses. In good defensive pressure there. Tillman hung in the air and floated about a 6-footer that missed badly. Too strong. Weber State with the rebound. They'll set it up. Working against the Tigers' man-to-man pressure. They get a wide open three in the right corner. Score it. Liz Graves on a beautiful pass up top into the right side as Tillman went over to help out. Lost her man. And then Graves made her pay for it. her first three-pointer of the year. That was Liz Graves draining the three for Weber State. It's 11-2. We'll keep it here and get some things settled. So the Wildcats, who are at 0-3 and have a lot of ball games on the road in the preseason, and have a lot of injuries to boot, and yet they come out firing and lead the Tigers 11-2 as Pacific. Get to some of the shooting numbers. The Tigers are 1 of 8 from the floor. Weber State at 3 of 4 from the floor. So 67% shooting to the Tigers, 20%. Weber State has lost at UCLA 85-45 to open up their season. Then they had a home game against Portland, and the Pilots defeated Weber State by 19 points, 78-59 on November the 9th. Weber State then went on the road at Washington and lost 94-41. And then playing the Tigers here today. After today, Weber State will maintain themselves on the road. They'll go at UC Riverside on Sunday, and then they head to Texas to play University of Texas El Paso on December 5th, and at New Mexico State on December the 7th. They're not back home until December the 17th against Utah Valley. So the Tigers come out of the huddle. I'm sure they got an earful from the coaching staff with a slow start here. Tillman with a drive into the lane, 12-foot floater with the right hand, no good. Goes off of Weber State out of bounds. Blakesley out there for Pacific with Tillman, Fricketson, Yard, and Whitehead. Tigers bring it in. Tillman's got it on the left wing. Up top to Fricketson. One-on-one there against Liz Graves. Now finds Whitehead underneath. She's double teamed, so a kick-out pass for a Tillman three. Got it. Leanna Tillman on a beautiful kick-out pass from Whitehead there, who drew the double team in the low post. And Tillman was wide open and drained a long-distance three cleanly through the net. That makes it an 11-5 score. Weber State up by 6 now. Into the low post they go. Working against Miard. Beautiful footwork and a tough move inside. That was Jaden Matthews who's checked in. She's a 5'11 freshman out of Reading. Went to Enterprise High School up there in beautiful Reading, Northern California. Tigers back on offense. Trailing by 8. Fricketson to the lane. Now Melissa Barlow has a whistle. There was a hand check foul with Fricketson. Picked up the left-hand dribble as she worked her way to the left elbow area before the shot. Hand check foul against Liz Graves, her first personal. First team foul on Weber State with 4:40 remaining in the opening quarter. Stay tuned. After the game, we'll name the City of Stockton Human Resources Player of the Game. Tillman, dribble penetration, tough shot, no good. Weber State with a rebound. Tigers are not on the offensive glass much early in this one. Newman and Kaiser and Higgins are going to check in for the Tigers at the next whistle. Higgins battling a cold, did not practice the last couple of days. Tigers get a block shot on the perimeter in transition. Miard's got the ball, looks for a cutter, doesn't have one, puts up a bank shot, no good. Josephine really wanted to dish that off and had a tough angle to try and bank that shot in and didn't quite get it. It did hit iron after the glass, but Weber State contains the rebound. Up top, Ula Chamberlain's trapped by Tillman, and then Blakesley goes down to the ground trying to double team. All the way to the rack with a left-hand flip shot by Liz Graves is no good. Ball loose on the floor, and it's tied up. Whitehead was tied up there with a hustling Jaden Matthews, and Tigers will have possession on the arrow. Whitehead will come out, Miard will come out, Fricketson will check out, Blakesley will check out. Higgins is in. McDavid checks back in. Tillman checks back. Tillman stays out there, and then Isabel Newman checks in for the first time for the Tigers. Shot on the right wing, no good. Bradley Davis up in front of me. I'm not sure who shot that, but Higgins got an offensive board for the Tigers. Now Newman's going to launch a three straight on. No good. It's strong. Rebound comes all the way out to the free throw line. Higgins had it for a moment. Now the ball's loose on the floor. And the Wildcats contain it. Goes out of bounds. Right to us here at courtside in the Spano Center. Turnover on Portland. Turnover on Weber State. Weber State wears the purple Portland colors. And they played Portland recently, so I got the Pilots on my mind. My apologies. Tigers back to work. McDavid is fouled as she gets the pass at the right high post area here. From behind. Vicky Parra, I believe, who's checked in, is going to draw the foul. She does. Parra is a 6'2 freshman, another freshman playing significant minutes for Coach Harris. Kayla Watkins comes back in. That'll get Jaden Matthews out. Tigers are going to inbound it along the baseline with 3:14 remaining. They have 24 seconds on the clock. Kaiser brings it into Higgins in the corner. Up top to Tillman. Now over to Kaiser. Has a left-hand lane. Goes down the lane and throws up a left-hand hook shot. No good, but draws the contact and the foul call. Kaiser, for the efforts, he's going to get a couple of free throws here for the Tigers. Callie Kaiser, the 5'10 redshirt senior out of Broomfield, Colorado. Colorado State transfer, sat out last year with Sophie Trigginson, also from Colorado State. They both redshirted last year and learned the Tiger system and are playing significant minutes. Kaiser off the bench, Trigginson in a starting role for the Tigers. First free throw good, second free throw good. Kaiser has not missed a free throw this year in the early going. She's at 100%. With the 2 points at the free throw line, Tigers draw within 6, 13-7. Weber State with a surprising lead here with 3 minutes to go in the opening stanza. On the left wing, Cheyenne Loyland is checked in. Loyland, a 6'2 guard, a freshman out of Minnesota. Brainerd, Minnesota. Step back three for Pincer. Got it. Tough shot. Pincer with nothing to lose. Fired it in. The Melba, Idaho native, who shoots 25% from the distance, got that one to go. Higgins cut off along the baseline. Up top to Newman. Dribble penetration and a hand check foul way up top. It's going to be the 4th team foul on Weber State. Individually, let's see who it's on here. Chamberlain picked it up, her first personal. So with 21 seconds on the shot clock, Tigers inbound it, far sideline. Then to Tillman. Newman draws the contact out on the left wing, doesn't take the shot, now hands it over to Kaiser. Her tough shot in traffic, wild hook shot with the right hand is an air ball. Wildcats come out of it. Now Higgins almost gets a steal and ends up in the Tiger bench, but it's out of bounds off of Higgins and the Tigers. Weber State shooting 67% from the field. Check that now, they're up to 75%. Tillman, great defense, swats the shot of Chamberlain as she had the dribble penetration. Tigers have 2-on-1, over to McDavid from Tillman and scores. Tillman drew the lone defender back, and then McDavid got a nice waist-high soft pass from Tillman and converted underneath for the easy bucket. And McDavid got 4 points. The Tigers trail it by 16-9 score. Higgins and Tillman putting pressure up top. Right corner kick out for a long three. That's short, no good. Loose ball rebound comes to Watkins of Weber State. Erwin Pincer now. Play catch, and it goes into the low post. And Sierra James can't handle the pass, but a whistle and a foul on Brooklyn McDavid from behind is why she couldn't quite get her paws on that ball. It'll be Weber State to inbound along the baseline. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 1:31 remaining in the quarter. Ball comes into the right corner to Loyland. She's double teamed. Now gets it into the low post for a kick out three attempt there by Watkins and scores. Kayla Watkins, the junior out of Seattle, drains her second three of the ball game. And the Weber State is 3 of 4 from distance. Tigers Miss a shot in transition. Trail up by 10, 19-9. Weber State up by 10, and a hard foul as Corey Pencer with a nice take to the rack there. Two Tigers were there. I think they're going to get Tillman. They do. First personal foul on Liana. Third team foul on the Tigers with 1:03 now left. Liz Graves checks in for Weber State. Chamberlain will take a breather. Going to be 2 free throws for Pencer, the sophomore. Has not missed a free throw attempt this year. Drains the first one. And the Wildcats up 20-9 here in the first quarter. Tigers not shooting the ball well early in this one. Second free throw no good. Tigers miss a shot inside. Weber State with a rebound. Inside of a minute to go. Wildcats up by 11. Not trusting the live stats here in front of me, so my hesitation there to give you the latest shooting percentages, but we'll get them to you after the end of the quarter. Tigers defend well in the low post. Ball knocked loose. Higgins lost it as she was on the ground trying to get it to a teammate, and then it finally batted out of bounds by Kayla Watkins of Weber State. So nice hustle by Higgins. She went down to the ground and was still fighting for it. So the Tigers do get the turnover on Weber State. I believe that's her fourth. We'll check that and hit the break here. Newman on the left wing up top to Tillman. She's going to high launch a 3-point shot attempt that was halfway down and then popped out. No good. Tigers offense really trying to find some continuity here in any way, shape, or form. It has not happened yet this afternoon. Sierra James works against Higgins. Higgins with a block shot, but it goes right to a hustling Wildcat. Liz Graves off the weak side, who in midair got the loose ball on the block shot and simultaneously banked it in from about 4 feet away. And that ends a terrible first quarter for the Tigers. Weber State elated as it's a 22-9 lead for Weber State. We'll take the short break, and we'll come back with the first quarter stats for you along the Pacific Tigers Digital Network.
My name is Brinley Barthels. I came to Pacific because I was actually looking at water polo programs, and it was one of the better programs in the state. And they also had a great science program. So their biology and chemistry departments especially were very rigorous and something that I knew would prepare me well for my future. When I visited the school, I saw a lot of chemistry labs and the opportunity for people to do research in the chemistry department, and that was something I was really excited about. My research, when I started, we began with peptide synthesis. So basically taking these small building blocks called amino acids, putting them all together and forming long chains. So Alzheimer's in particular is manifested because peptides are created at different lengths. So we are able to take those peptides, recreate them in the lab, and analyze their function and factors that make them non-functional. So my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years ago, so it's extremely personal to me that, you know, I'm able to take this research that I'm doing and apply it back to my own life. It's humbling and also exciting that I
network this afternoon as the Tigers in Weber State in a early tip-off education day here at the University of the Pacific. 3,500 elementary middle school aged kids in attendance. They got a tour of the campus, get a free box lunch. And it's a great day. And off the inbound pass to start the second quarter, Weber State gets a fortunate deflection and all the way in for a layup. And now it's 24-9 as the Wildcats have opened up a 15-point lead. Sophie Trickinson out there with Blakesley. She has the ball deflected. Now over to Millard. Randala and Brooklyn McDavid. Nice pass from up top by Trickinson. Finds McDavid inside for the score. Brooklyn had freed up. He had a nice pass from up top by Trickinson, who's a terrific passer for the Tigers. Get you some numbers here in just a moment as we get a break in the action. Nice cut off the back baseline and a beautiful bounce pass there by Sierra James. With Tigers get whistled for a shooting foul as James Made a nice dump-off pass to a fellow teammate who was slashing in along the left wing down to the baseline. Tigers had to foul there, otherwise it would have been an easy score. Yard picks up her first personal. Now Weber State throws it away. Here's Rondawa with a breakout. Misses a right-hand layup. Kaylin was bumped a little bit down low and missed a layup. Boy, the Tigers have lost 2 years in a row on Education Day at least. I remember the last 2 for sure. They just have not performed well on this early start and big crowd. I'm not sure what it is, but they are struggling so far in this one. Here's a traveling violation on Weber State. 6th turnover by the Wildcats. The Tigers turned it over only once in that quarter, but shot only 3 of 19 from the field in that first quarter. Weber State, conversely, was 8 of 15 from the floor, including 5 of 8. Tigers turn it over, and then transition, a right-hand flip shot, no good there by Corey Pencer. Now we got a whistle. What do we got? Over the back foul by a crashing Wildcat. Bletchley's going to come out. She's having trouble getting her game going here in the early season. Jess only averaging 2.3 points a game, 3 rebounds a contest, shooting only 23% from the floor coming into play today. The Tigers senior has struggled early, and she has not gotten it going yet in this game, but other than McDavid, nobody else has either. McDavid, 15-foot baseline shot off the right side, no good. It goes about 17 feet. It's an air ball, and off the weak side rebound there by Liz Graves. She finds a teammate. Nope, she takes it all the way to the rack. She made a stutter step and then got to the rack with a left hand and laid it in. Nice move there by Liz Graves. Tigers force the ball into McDavid. It's tipped away and stolen by Weber State. Turnover on Pacific. As Ela Chamberlain brings the right-hand dribble up. Directs traffic. Tigers continue man-to-man pressure wearing the home whites. Chamberlain gets the pick and roll. Watkins doesn't roll and then goes to the elbow. Dribble penetration now down the right side of the lane and bowls over one of the Tigers. That's an offensive foul on Weber State. Watkins with an aggressive move, put the ball on the floor there and crashed right into the Tigers' defense, drawing the foul. First personal on Watkins. 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Tigers have Tillman out there with Callie Kaiser, Brooklyn McDavid, Sophie Trigginson, and Josephine Miard. Trigginson tries to go over the top of Watkins, trying to hit Brooklyn McDavid, but it's stolen by Watkins, and in transition, a foul on Trigginson. It's going to be 2 free throws for Kayla Watkins. McDavid was posting up. Watkins was fronting her, and Trigginson tried to lob the ball over the top there as McDavid was working on the left block area, but the pass was not high enough to get over Watkins, who stole it and then hustled up the floor with a right-hand dribble working to get Trigginson, who complained about the foul call, but it's 2 free throws for the junior from Seattle. 83% this year at the charity stripe. Misses the first. Second free throw good, so 1 of 2 for Watkins. And the Tigers trail it by 16 points here, 27-11. Miard fakes the three-point shot, hands it off to Tillman. Left wing feed is deflected, now comes near midcourt, and Kaiser collects it there. Setter step into the lane, kick out to Miard. Goes against the baseline, now here's Trigginson from 3 and scores. Sophie Trigginson off the Miard assist, off the left wing. Trigginson nails the three-pointer, and it makes it 27-14. Ball comes into the low post to Watkins. It goes out of bounds off of McDavid as Watkins had a hard time handling that high inbound pass there in the right block area. Goes off of her. The Wildcats will bring it in. 23 seconds on the shot clock. Watkins has it up top. Shuffles her feet, then the ball down low. Tillman is going to get whistled for an over-the-back foul as she was on the back side of the cutter there off the left wing. And Liana tried to poke it away, but came over the shoulder and drew the contact. Personal foul on Tillman. for the Tigers. That's her second personal foul. Higgins, who played briefly, is battling a cold. Good non-call there as the ball comes up top, and then a beautiful deflection goes right over to Cheyenne Loyland, who lays it in. Fortunate bounce there as the inbound pass came all the way up to the free throw line, and Ricketson collided with Watkins. The ball deflected right over to the other Wildcat, who scored easily. Here's Tillman making a move down the right side, and of the lane is fouled as she misses the shot, but will get 2 free throws, I believe. She was in the act of shooting here. Yes. So Tillman at the line, the 5'9 junior. Lincoln High School here in Stockton, 75% free throw shooter, misses the first. All right, we got the live stat working. Tillman misses the second. McDavid gets the rebound and puts it up and in. Brooklyn McDavid working hard inside. Scores the bucket. I believe she's got 8 points now. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. The ball into the forecourt. Jaden Matthews goes up for a shot. It's blocked by 2 Tigers. Here's Prickinson on the out break off the turnover. Yard up top. Things slow down. Tigers set it up. Callie Kaiser circles back up top with a left-hand dribble. It's poked away by the Wildcats. Regained by Kaiser. Now Prickinson has it. Goes to the rack. This is a layup. A lot of contact there, and a late whistle by Melissa Barlow. A lot of contact by 2 Wildcats. Drew a late whistle there, and that will get 2 free throws for Sophie Prickinson. Prickinson is one of the strongest Tigers physically. She doesn't typically get real aggressive going to the basket. She likes to shoot out on the perimeter, but that time she saw a wide open right side of the court and took it hard to the rack, where she drew 2 defenders who both bodied her up to get to the line. Misses the first free throw. Sophie has yet to hit a free throw this year. She hasn't been to the line very much. I think that's only her 3rd time. Now she's got her free throw percentage. She gets 1 of 2. Savannah Whitehead's going to come in. McDavid will get a breather here. She's huffing and puffing coming out. McDavid does have 8 points in the ballgame to lead the Tigers. Kayla Watkins leads Weber State with 9. Tigers show some pressure into the backcourt. Ula Chamberlain tracks it down. Now on the right wing to Sierra James. Her and Chamberlain play catch. Ball batted back to Chamberlain, who brings the left-hand dribble into the key. Now she picks up the dribble, gets stuck in the key, but finds a teammate inside. A flip shot with the left hand, no good there by Sierra James. The Clackamas, Oregon native, sophomore, misses the shot. Tigers with a rebound. Higgins on the left side, up top for a 3 attempt by Kaiser. It's an air ball out of bounds. Callie Kaiser got the feed from Higgins straight away and missed the shot. It was an air ball out of bounds. Tigers shooting 24%. I checked that. 22% from downtown. Only 2 of 9 from distance. Weber State of 5 of 8 from beyond the arc. Ball deflects out of bounds. Weber State will have possession. We'll take the break. We have the media timeout with 4:58 left in the second quarter. Weber State leads by a dozen. It's 29-17 along the Pacific Tigers digital network. Don Gubbins back here to live action. Weber State throws it away and turns it over on the possession. The Tigers get the ball back and score inside. It's 29-20 with 4.5 to go in the second quarter. Tigers putting on a little run here. Now another steal, this time in the low post by Whitehead. She brings the dribble up, hands it off to Tillman. In transition, Higginson's on the left side. Looks for a three, doesn't take it. Down to Higgins, kick out on the weak side to Tillman. She goes low post to Whitehead, who stutter steps inside, loses control, has it back. She's trapped, now dribbles out of the key. And with 13 seconds left, the Tigers settle things down. Bradley Davis up, calling the play set. Tillman gets a post, a pick way up top, and then step back three-point shot. Halfway down, it pops out, no good. Offensive putback, no good. Higgins gets another offensive board. Her putback is no good, but she draws the foul call. In relentless offensive rebounding there by the Tigers. And it's going to result in a couple of free throws for junior Valerie Higgins. Lindsey Moore calls Leanna Tillman over real quick and gives her an earful about something. First free throw by Higgins is no good. Valerie will get a second. Only 50% at the line this year for the Southern California native. Gets the second one, so 1 of 2 for Higgins. That draws the Tigers back with an 8, 29-21. The Tigers led 2-0, and then after that, they have not been on top in this ball game. It's been all Weber State since then. Cassidy Johnson, 6'5" Utah native herself, checks in for the Tigers. Here's Watkins firing from three, straight up top, no good, but an offensive rebound there, and put back by Sierra James. Misses, but another foul on the Tigers. That's going to go on Cassidy Johnson. The shooting foul, so 2 free throws for Sierra James. Cassidy Johnson, the redshirt freshman out of Lehigh, Utah, 6'5" center. Playing about 2 minutes a game on average this year. First free throw no good by James. The Oregon native at 83% coming into play today. Misses both free throws. Higgins brings the rebound down to her waist, is tied up by Liz Graves. They call a jump ball? They called the jump ball there, so possession arrow favors the Tigers. Higgins did not see Sierra James coming around the backside there and tied her up. Pacific basketball, 3:20 to go. Second quarter, Tigers trail by 8. Higgins looks for Tillman on the right wing. Gets a pick now from Valerie. Goes to the rack, off the window and scores. Beautiful move by Tillman. She took her time, let the play develop out there as Higgins gave her the nice pick at the right elbow. And then Weber State loses the ball along the sideline as she was trapped. It was Liz Graves who was trapped along the sideline. Higgins was there and Tillman was there, who trapped her, and then he lost the dribble out of bounds. Turnover number 9 on Weber State. Remember, they're averaging 29 turnovers a game through their first 3 ball games. Callie Kaiser over to Tillman in the left corner, up top to Trigginson. Dumps it down low to Valerie Higgins. Tough shot inside and scores. Higgins, who was deep on that end line, had to arch her back against working in traffic there in the key. Made a nice shot off the window to score. Tigers back within 4, 29-25, 2:30 to go, second quarter. Dribble penetration. Kaiser's bowled over. Let's see if they call a block or an offensive foul. It's going to go against Kaiser. So it's a blocking foul. They said she was moving and not set when the contact occurred, and that'll get Blakesley in for Kaiser. Kaiser picked up the first personal foul on that play. A couple of free throws for Liz Graves. Mapleton, Utah native. 50% at the line this year. Misses the first. Second free throw finds its way through the net. 1 of 2. Weber State shooting 50% from the floor in this ball game. The Tigers now at 30%. That number has climbed from the high teens. 30 to 25. Weber State up by 5 as the Tigers look for Friggson on the right elbow. Now over to Higgins. He's got a wide open look at a three. Misses the shot short. Blakeslee with an offensive rebound and scores inside. Blakeslee, who's a terrific offensive rebounder coming off that weak side, that time found herself wide open on an offensive board. Now the Tigers get a deflection and a steal by Blakeslee. Into the lane. Kick out pass for a Triggerson three off the right wing and scores. Triggerson with that quick trigger. She has such a quick release. The line drive shot drains it. And just like that, we're knotted up at 30 apiece with a minute 45 to go. In the backcourt, Tigers throw double team pressure on. The ball's loose. What do we got here? Timeout apparently. They got the timeout. The Tigers had the double team and knocked the ball loose. The Portland player apparently had enough possession to call the timeout. Bradley Davis is all of a sudden pretty fiery here as the Tigers have stormed back from a 15-point deficit here in the first half to tie it up at 30 apiece on the nice run here in the second quarter. Tigers have outscored Weber State 21-8 in this quarter after getting outscored themselves 22-9 in the opening quarter. So we're tied up at 30 apiece. The Tigers officially 11 of 33 from the floor. Weber State is 11 of 22, and the Tigers have had 11 more field goal opportunities, largely due to 10 turnovers now by Weber State. Out of the timeout, they try and throw a long pass down court, but a shot is missed by Weber State there. Who was that? Cheyenne Loyland, who went long off the Tigers' pressure on the backcourt, but missed a layup. A little bit of contention on the defense made the shot more difficult. Tigers dodge a little bit of a bullet there. Into the lane, Higgins goes. Soft floater with the right hand and scored. Beautiful body control as Higgins floated it up from about 8 feet away. She avoided the Weber State defender as she simultaneously put that shot up. Nice move by the Tigers junior, Valerie Higgins. Tigers have their first lead since leading 2-0 in this ball game with a minute to go. Ball deflects on the pass out of bounds off the Pacific. Weber State with 13 seconds will inbound it along the baseline to the right of their basket. Corey Pencer will do the honors. Watkins is out there with Sierra James. Now the Tigers get a steal off the inbound pass. It's Tillman, tries to draw the contact as she goes in to lay it in with the right hand. Can the Tigers make the Wildcats pay for their 11th turnover with a bucket? It's now the Tigers' largest lead of the basketball game, 34-30, as they've settled things down and got possession of this ball game again. Here's Higgins coming from the weak side, stealing in the low post, and the Tigers create the 12th turnover on the Wildcats. That time, courtesy of Valerie Higgins. Sophie Triggerson huffing and puffing with the ball on the right wing. Looks for Blakeslee up top. Finds her there. Man-to-man pressure by the Wildcats as Higgins tries to go down the lane. Is tied up for a kick-out pass. A three ball there is an air ball by Tillman. Missed it. Short and wide right. In transition, Triggerson steals the ball at half court. Anticipated that pass beautifully and goes in to lay it in with 2 seconds, 1 second. And that's the end of the first half. Sophie Triggerson, beautifully done. Using her basketball IQ, came storming up the court, stole the pass in full stride at mid-court, and had the Tigers had a 2-on-1. Triggerson took it all the way in, and the Tigers end the half on a nice run. It's 36-30 Pacific as the Tigers defense finally came alive, and that triggered the offense here in the second quarter. The Tigers, with a very nice run in that second quarter, scored 27 points in the second quarter for Weber State's 8 points and take a 6-point lead here at halftime. We'll take the short break. We'll come back with first half numbers for you along the PacificTigers.com.
My name is Brinley Barthels. I came to Pacific because I was actually looking at water polo programs, and it was one of the better programs in the state. And they also had a great science program. So their biology and chemistry departments especially were very rigorous and something that I knew would prepare me well for my future. When I visited the school, I saw a lot of chemistry labs and the opportunity for people to do research in the chemistry department, and that was something I was really excited about. My research, when I started, we began with peptide synthesis. So basically taking these small building blocks called amino acids, putting them all together and forming long chains. So Alzheimer's in particular is manifested because peptides are created at different lengths. So we are able to take those peptides, recreate them in the lab, and analyze their function and factors that make them non-functional. So my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years ago, so it's extremely personal to me that, I'm able to take this research that I'm doing and apply it back to my own life. It's humbling and also exciting that I am able to do these small experiments and look at these small peptides and know that somewhere, somehow, someone is going to take my research or the research that my lab is doing and use it on something bigger like these diseases. Prospective freshmen come in and they're asking, well, why should we choose Pacific? What's the academics like? And the first thing I say every time is that the research aspect in the chemistry department especially is very unique. I know a lot of people that go to different schools in California or even in the United States that have never stepped foot in a research laboratory. The opportunities presented here are extremely important and extremely unique to Pacific. And everyone that asks me, I say the best part about this school is the research aspect, definitely.
Really good here, guys. So as you guys can see, education is important here. So they all have a favorite. Once you guys choose to go to college, you guys have to make sure you guys attend some classes that you actually enjoy as well. All right, next question. How did you get started playing your sport? Let's start on this side.
I started playing when I was like 9, and my dad pretty much just stuck it up my hand and said, "This is what you're gonna do," and it just kind of stuck. And I always knew that the only way I would be able to play is if I got good grades, and I would get good grades, and I could play. So I started playing softball when I was little. My sister also played softball, and my dad signed me up for t-ball. I was the only girl that played. But, I like to think that I beat all the boys. That's fine. My dream in water polo has been my favorite year. I grew up playing soccer, and then I kind of grew too fast. And so my dad was like, what? Maybe running isn't really a thing to do. So then I got thrown in the pool, and here we are.
I don't know if I'd be thrown into the pool, but at least it worked out for you. All right, next question. Or last question, I should say. What do you like most about competing as a Tiger?
I like just always knowing that we're striving for excellence and we're off the field or off the court or whatever. So I just like knowing that no matter what, how good or how bad we do, we always put something back in us at all times. And we're always supported and we always have
All right, guys, so I want to thank Savannah, Jessica, and Cam for participating today. Let's give them a round of applause, everyone. Thank you guys. Go Tigers!
Tigers, with those 13 Weber State turnovers, have turned them in to 17 points, and without question, that stat is the key one through the first 2 quarters here in Stockton this afternoon. Not unexpected. The Tigers really wanted to put pressure on Weber State and jump on them early. It didn't really work out that way, certainly in the first quarter, but it did work out that way in the second quarter. So 17 points off of 13 turnovers by Weber State for Pacific. Tigers turned it over only 4 times in that first half. Weber State made them pay with with 4 points off of the 4 Tiger turnovers. Points in the paint, if you look at that stat, Weber State had a big advantage through the first quarter in that category, but the Tigers stormed back in that second quarter and have 18 points in the paint through the first 2 periods. 12 points for Weber State in the paint here through the first half of play. Fast break points favor the Tigers, 8-1. The Tigers got all of those in the second quarter when the defense came alive. And Sophie Trickinson, they were right at the end of the first half, stole that ball at midcourt and got 2 of the 8 points off that fast break. And then if you look at the bench points, the Tigers have 14 points off the bench, 14 of their 36 points off the bench, largely in part to Valerie Higgins not starting today, coming off the bench. She had 5 of the bench points for the Tigers. So Pacific 14-4, a plus 10 advantage in bench points through the first half. So it's 36-30. Tigers up by 6. Both teams credited with 4 blocked. No, check that. The Tigers have 4 blocked shots. Weber State did not block a shot. Block shots, Tigers had 4 players credited with 1 block shot in that first half. Higgins, Tillman, Whitehead, and McDavid. So that's a look at the numbers through the first half. When play resumes in about 3.5 minutes, the Tigers will have a 6-point advantage opening up the second half. If you look at the West Coast Conference, Coming into play today, interesting to note, the Portland Pilots are 4-0 on the young campaign 2019 season. Portland 2-0 at home, 2-0 on the road. One of their victims is this Weber State Ball Club that Portland defeated on the road by 19 points in Utah. Santa Clara 3-1 on the season. Gonzaga at 2-1 with the Tigers and the USF Dons. San Diego's played a couple of games. They're 2-0. And then BYU at 1-1. LMU at 1-3. Pepperdine at 1-2. And St. Mary's at 2-2. And they've evened things up. So it's a quick look at some of the West Coast Conference other schools through the first few games of the season. So Portland 4-0. That's under a new head coach up there. Then got a couple of Australians doing some nice things for the Portland Pilots. It'll be fun to see how they do this year after the departure of Cheryl Sorensen. Both teams come back out onto the court. That'll give me a chance to read a couple of spots for you here. I mentioned we will name the City of Stockton Human Resources Hardworking Player of the Game at the conclusion of this one. City of Stockton encourages you to visit their website and check out their exciting career opportunities where they offer competitive salaries and great benefits. Join the Roar fans this season. You can secure your season ticket still under Tigers head coach Bradley Davis. The Tigers should have a very exciting and thrilling season. They offer a very flexible exchange policy and a discounted rate as well on those tickets. Now is the best time to lock it in. Get your seats for the year. Women's basketball season tickets start at $60 per seat. They're now on sale, of course. Head online to PacificTigers.com to secure your seat today. The Lincoln Center is also Stockton's premier shopping and dining destination. You can enjoy boutique shopping, award-winning restaurants, and a family-friendly atmosphere. Personal service always in style at the Lincoln Center, conveniently located at Pacific Avenue and Benjamin Holt. Quick shout out to a good friend up in the Roseville area. John and Harriet Rogers, big Tiger fans, hopefully listening in today. Corey Lewis, pharmacy school graduate, 2 years, 2017, a couple of years ago. Had a chance to meet him up in Granite Bay last night. Say hello to Corey and his family. Also, fans, mark your calendars, December 7th and 8th. That's rapidly approaching. University of the Pacific's going to host the men's water polo NCAA tournament. Limited all-session passes still available. You can visit PacificTigers.com to secure your seat today. All right, so we are ready to start the second half. 36-30 Pacific. Weber State, clad in the purple uniforms, will have first possession as the 3,500 or so kids in attendance on Education Day here at Pacific settle back into their seats after receiving a nice box lunch. And Weber State has Watkins inside, makes a nice move, got away with a shuffle step, and then is fouled as she converts the bucket. It's going to be an and one for Kayla Watkins, working on the left block there against Josephine Miard. Watkins looked like she shuffled her feet as she made a terrific move before she banked it in at point-blank range and drew the foul. Miard picks up the personal. Free throw is missed. Miard's second personal of the ball game. So Watkins cannot convert on the three-point play. So it's now a 36-32 Tiger lead. Rondalla goes to the rack, off the window, scores. Got a nice feed from Miard. So Josephine with the assist. Rondalla with her first points of the ball game. She was slashing in from the left elbow and got her way to the rack with that long frame of hers. 6'2" frame. Tigers start the same starting five. Blakesley, Triggetson, Yard, Brooklyn McDavid, and Randhawa. Same for Weber State. Sierra James has the ball deflected, now tracked down by Pincer near the midcourt range. So shot clock ticking down. She has to launch from about 35 feet. It's no good. In fact, it's partially blocked by the Tigers. In transition, the Tigers will settle it up now as Kaylin Randhawa calls out a number 4 play set. Ball comes to McDavid at the right elbow. Works there against Watkins. Away from the ball, Blakeslee goes down hard off a screen, and Triggetson fires it in from the left corner 3. Actually, the left angle 3. Probably her favorite spot. And again, that quick release, a beautiful one-hand set shot. Ball knocked loose out of bounds. Weber State forcing off of the Tigers' made basket. They're looking at full court pressure, and they turn it over. It's Tiger basketball. Triggetson deflected it, and I guess it went off one of the Wildcats. So another turnover. Triggetson step back 3 from the same spot. This one's off the front iron. No good. McDavid with an offensive putback and score. McDavid with the 2 flaps down as she heads back to midcourt. Tigers score 5 quick points there off the Triggetson 3, and then they get the turnover and get a McDavid offensive rebound for 2. Shot inside, misses, no good. Ball tied up. McDavid and Sierra James there are tied up. Jump ball call. Possession arrow to Pacific. Yard's going to come out. Higgins will come in for the Tigers. Early substitution here. 2 minutes into the third quarter. Triggetson on the right side goes strong to the basket. Has her shot blocked from behind there by Liz Graves, but the Tigers retain possession. Randhawa gets a pick from McDavid, who was moving as she set the pick, and Melissa Barlow on a good call there catches McDavid with a moving pick and an offensive foul. Second personal on Brooklyn. Tigers have opened it up now by 11 points off this run here in the third quarter. 7-2 run to open up the third quarter through the first 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Tilley is going to check in for the Tigers at the next whistle. Wild shot there on a dribble penetration by Chamberlain, no good. Randhawa up the court off the rebound, finds McDavid, settles it in and banks it home. Higgins with a beautiful bounce pass. McDavid running full speed, lost the handle momentarily, gathered it in and wisely took her time to secure it, got the angle and banked it in from 3 feet away against Kayla Watkins inside. Tigers up by 13 all of a sudden, 45-32. Shot is blocked, goes out of bounds. It'll be Weber State ball. Triggetson, I believe, got the shot blocked there momentarily, and then it went off of Sophie out of bounds. So with 7:09 remaining here in the third quarter, Weber State will bring it in along the left baseline. Comes way up top. Randhawa swats it into the back court. It goes out of bounds right in front of the Tiger bench on the opposite end of the court. So Randhawa with good defense there on the out of bounds play by Weber State. Kaylin making some nice strides, especially on the defensive end here in her sophomore year. The Pittman High School product out of Turlock. Uses that tremendous length of hers, her long arms. Shot inside on the penetration, no good. Tigers get the rebound off the missed shot by the Wildcats. Here's Randhawa pulling up from 12 feet off the right side, no good. Rebound goes off of Blakeslee out of bounds. So in transition, Randhawa took the quick jump shot and missed it. Newman's going to come in for Blakeslee. So the 6-foot junior guard from Simi Valley into the ballgame for the Tigers. Izzy playing about 10 minutes of contest. Bradley Davis wants a travel call as a tie-up in the back court is finally whistled. Alternate possession to Weber State. Right in front of the Tigers bench, the Wildcats will inbound it. Well, they had the possession arrow was not changed, so there's some confusion as to whose ball it is here on the jump ball call. Weber State was going to be given possession, and then they called the Tigers over to inbound. And now it will be Weber State after all, I believe. We'll get a pause in the action as Melissa Barlow, one of the better West Coast Conference officials, comes over and gets it clarified. It is Wildcat basketball. Graves has nobody to pass it into, and at the last second, Watkins breaks free. She takes the inbound pass. Tigers throwing on full court pressure. 10-second violation is whistled as that count continues, and that's a great point here in the back court. You have 10 seconds to get the ball over the timeline. And I believe that 10-second count continued on that lack of change of possession. Bradley Davis very much aware of that, had the backcourt pressure, and he gets a nice turnover there on the Wildcats with some good play calling on the defensive end. Here's Kaylin Randawa with a left-hand dribble, looking for Brooklyn underneath. The ball deflects off of one of the Wildcats, but then off of Kaylin out of bounds. It was a good idea by Randawa off of dribble penetration. She was looking for a bounce pass into McDavid, who had freed up herself inside that semicircle low in the key. But it was a lot of traffic there, and probably not a good percentage pass. As a result, Tigers turn it over. Now a 5-second violation as Weber State having trouble in finding an open player on the Tigers' backcourt pressure. And yet another turnover now on Weber State. So it'll be Tiger basketball with 6:22 left third quarter. Tigers leading 45-32. Weber State had the lead much of the first half before the Tigers put on a late run in that second quarter. Ricketson dribbles down the right side of the lane, makes a terrible bounce pass. It's stolen there by the Wildcats. Up top to Watkins at the three-point line and travels. Kayla started to think about driving from the top of the key, but didn't put the ball on the ground and drug that back foot for the easy call. Tigers going to get a perimeter three off the left side there by, I believe it was Triggetson. It was a little long out of bounds. Not sure if it was Triggetson or Higgins there, as I'm looking down to try and get you some turnover numbers, but not up in front of me. In transition, Weber State throws it away. It's Izzy Newman with the steal for the Tigers. Finds Higgins going to the rack. Flip shot, no good. Loose ball on the offensive board is McDavid. Tigers bring it on the perimeter. They'll settle it down. Newman over to Brooklyn McDavid. 10-footer off the right side, no good. And Weber State with the rebound. Callie Kaiser, who's checked in, almost got an offensive board there off the McDavid miss, but couldn't quite settle it in before Weber State took possession, and then up court the pass deflects out of bounds off of the Tigers. McDavid's going to get a breather. Triggetson will get a breather. Tillman will check out, so it's Higgins out there with Newman. Jessica Blakesley's come in, Callie Kaiser, and Savannah Whitehead. Kaiser goes for a steal off the inbound pass, doesn't get it. Hustles back to play her half-court D. And now along the baseline, the Tigers get a trap on one of the Weber State players and going to get a personal foul on one of the Tigers. It's going to be Jessica Blakesley picking up the personal foul there. First personal on Jess. Third team foul on the Tigers here, nearly midway through the third quarter. 5:18 exactly remaining. Henser looking to bring the ball inbounds and gets called for a 5-second violation. And the Tigers continue to play that really good defense on the out of bounds. They have forced a second consecutive 5-second violation on alternate possessions here. Jaden Matthews checks back in. Watkins will get a breather for Coach Harris. Callie Kaiser brings the ball across the timeline, finds Higgins way up top, looking down low for Whitehead. Now a kick-out pass for Newman, has to track it down, lost her spot up for a three-point shot. Dribble penetration with the left hand, no good, off the back iron, but draws the foul call. I think Newman's going to get a couple of free throws here. The Tigers run that play set where on the out of bounds where it came way up top to Higgins, and then she dumped in a low post pass from up top to Whitehead, who had done a nice seal off inside. But Whitehead was off balance as she tried to find Newman on the right wing for an open three. And Izzy had to go off her spot to track down the pass, got the pass, and then found an open lane to the basket where she was fouled. Newman, a terrific free throw shooter. First one is good. The second one hits front iron, back iron, and pops out. No good. So 1 of 2 for Newman. She misses her first free throw of the year. And the Tigers lead at 14 now at 46-32. We're inside of 5 minutes to go in the third stanza. Chamberlain cut off at the free throw line, then throws it out to Watkins, and Watkins quick pass, return pass to Chamberlain. And Chamberlain's fouled from behind on the pass attempt by Callie Kaiser. Kaiser, very aggressive defensive player. She'll give the Tigers a tremendous amount of energy off the bench. We have the timeout first. It's the media timeout. 4:44 exactly remaining here in the third quarter. We'll take the break along the PacificTigers.com. All right, Don Gubbins back live here. Tigers up by 14. Weber State will inbound it. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Tigers have stormed from 15 down early in the first half to take command of this ball game. Ball knocked loose by Higgins. It's loose on the floor. Valerie gets it. Quick outlet to Callie Kaiser. Tigers force yet another turnover on Weber State. That's number 22 of the ball game. Beautiful pass to Whitehead on the left block. She turns and scores with the left hand. Nice entry pass off that wing right into Whitehead, who was working hard, sealed off her defender beautifully, and finished the play. JB going to get a tripping foul out on the wing. Blakesley picks up the personal foul there. Tough call. Melissa Barlow made it. Blakesley's leg got tangled up with the Weber State player. Tigers are in the penalty with their 15th foul with 4:10 still to play here in the quarter. The Weber State's going to get to the line, you would think, a little bit here in the last part of the third quarter. Liz Graves converts the free throw. The Mapleton, Utah native converts the first and both free throws. She's got 10 points in the ballgame. She'll check out. That'll get Corey Pencer back in for Weber State. Pencer, Chamberlain out there with Loyland. Shot missed by the Tigers. Ball loose on the floor. And it's going to be Tiger basketball. Trying to balance the floor for you. Jaden Matthews also out there along with Kayla Watkins for Weber State. The Tigers now have Leona Tillman, who checks in. Izzy Newman out there with Whitehead, Kaiser, and Triggetson. Newman dumps it into Whitehead. She works and double dribbles into the low post. Got a little excited there, trying to make an individual move with her back to the basket on that, working hard on that right block. shuffled her feet. Turnover on the Tigers, only their 8th of the ball game. Pacific throws some zone full court pressure in the back court, but Weber State breaks the pressure and gets the ball into the forecourt, sets up the offense. They get a pick up top by Jaden Matthews. Now ball handed off to Matthews way up top. Right wing feed to Pencer. She waits for a pick by Watkins, doesn't use it, comes up top to Jaden Matthews. Now in the right wing to Kayla Watkins. She's going to fire from 3. That one's off the front iron, no good. Callie Kaiser cleans up the board for the Tigers. Long outlet pass up to Tillman. Over to Newman for a 3. Off the front iron, no good. Issy misfires from three-point line there. Chamberlain brings the dribble up. Now a 3 ball on the left wing by Loyland, no good. Tillman with the rebound for Pacific. Hustles the ball up the court with the left hand. Shakes and bakes, goes to the rack, throws up a floater, no good. Bodies flying all over the place. I think it's going to be a foul on Weber State, I believe. It's a wait and see here. The official taking a long look at it here. It is a blocking foul on Pencer. And Tillman's going to get a couple of free throws here for the Tigers. McDavid comes back in along with Rondawa. First free throw good by Tilly. She'll get a second one as well here. That one settles in. 75% this year for Tillman at the free throw line coming into play today. She's got both free throws there. Tigers throw some full court pressure, and that's going to create a foul call in the backcourt. Newman going to get a body foul as she forced the Weber State player out of bounds. Tillman has 9 points after those 2 free throws and is 2 of 4 at the line today. Ricketson with 15 leads the way for the Tigers. McDavid with 12. Tillman with the 9. For Weber State, Watkins with 11 points leading them. Graves has 8. Chamberlain at the free throw line misses the first. The freshman out of Medford, Oregon, shooting 75% from the line so far this year for Coach Harris. Second free throw back iron, no good. McDavid with a rebound. So Weber State misses an opportunity to cut into that deficit. Here's Newman firing from 3, straight on, no good, off the front iron. Loose ball rebound tracked down by Rondawa. Tigers retain possession. Newman's got it on the left wing, looks to go baseline, now dribble penetrates, puts up a shot short. Rebound by Triggetson, scores. Sophie Triggetson with an offensive rebound and putback in traffic. In transition, quick shot underneath, no good, but a foul on Rondawa of the Tigers as Weber State got a quick out break there off the Tigers' made bucket off their own offensive rebound. Vicky Parra will get a couple of free throws as she hustled up the court. One of her teammates found her. Rondawa picks up the personal foul. For Kaylin, that'll be her second personal, I believe. First free throw good, second free throw no good. Ricketson with the board. Tigers up by 17, 52-35 with 2:15 to go here in the third quarter. Ball comes into McDavid. She makes a quick dribble, spin, score, but I think they call a travel before she made the move, I guess. So a turnover on the Tigers. McDavid apparently shuffled her feet as she made that quick move off, working on the left block there, went on to score, but the bucket does not count. There's a traveling violation on Brooklyn. Weber State basketball with 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Out on the left wing works Liz Graves. Finds Pencer now on the right wing. Bounce pass to a cutter along the baseline. No good. Rondawa lost vision of the ball. Almost got burned, but the shot is missed. Tigers with a rebound. Up they come. Tillman in transition has a look at a 3. No good. McDavid working hard on the weak side. Put back no good, but she's fouled. And 2 free throws upcoming from Brooklyn McDavid. The West Coast Conference Player of the Week, McDavid, averaged 25.5 points a game last week in the 2 ball games. Brooklyn, the All West Coast Conference preseason selection, still on the Katrina McLean Award watch for the top power forward in Division I college basketball. Started all 32 games for the Tigers last year, averaged 14.5 points a game, 6.3 rebounds a game last year overall. Has one of two free throws there, so it's 53-35. 18-point lead is the largest in the ball game for Pacific. McDavid will come out with her 13 points now. Weber State working against pressure, breaks into the front court, and a body check foul on Josephine Miard, who's checked in for the Tigers. As Weber State got the dribble penetration all the way from the backcourt into the front court and all the way to the rack by Corey Pencer. She missed the shot, but Friggitson checked at Miard with a personal foul. And Josephine, the sophomore from France, has picked up her third personal foul there. Pencer completes the first free throw successfully. Second free throw, no good. Tigers get the rebound. Newman with a nice box out there, secures the rebound, but her outlet pass is intercepted. Trying to go to Tillman at midcourt and converted in transition by Ula Chamberlain, who drains the two-pointer. I guess it was a three-pointer, they said. It was close. So Chamberlain knocks home the three-pointer. Tigers turnover cost them 3 points there. 53-38 as Randhawa goes right wing to Newman. She's looking down low for Miard, who's pushed off, working in the left block. Newman's pass ends up going about 5 feet over the head of Miard, but Josephine was being held from behind there, and that drew the whistle and the foul call. Newman looked in amazement as that entry pass went so far over the head, but that was because Josephine was being held down low. Randhawa dribble penetration, her bounce pass to Miard off the other side of the key is intercepted and then tied up. We got a jump ball call here. Tigers have possession still. 15 seconds though on the shot clock. We're inside of a minute to go with 57 seconds left here in the third quarter. Friggitson comes into Miard. Now up top to Tillman. She'll call out a play set. Wants a pick by Miard. She's going to get it at the three-point line. Rough dribble behind her back. Then Juka, defender, puts up a floater from 10 feet away. No good. Tough shot. Nice move by Tillman. He threw some oohs and ahs from the crowd, but missed the shot. Weber State with the basketball. Ball deflects out of bounds off of Randhawa. Tigers have outscored Weber State 17-8 so far here in the third quarter. They get McDavid and Higgins back in the game. Brooklyn intercepts the pass. Turnover on Weber State. Up comes Friggitson, and Coach Davis tells her to slow it down. They want to set something up here. They want to work on a play set. The shot clock turned off. 14 seconds remaining in the quarter, so the Tigers have a good opportunity to work on a last shot sequence of a period here. McDavid sets a pick and goes for a kick-out pass for Higgins. No good, but the offensive putback will be too late by Randhawa, as Higgins was forced to launch one up, fading away from the left corner three. And the Tigers do not execute, and much to the demise of Bradley Davis, he gathers the five that were out there, has a quick word with them before everybody settles back into the bench. So we're done with 3 quarters here in Stockton. The Pacific Tigers looking to go 3-1 on the year. They lead it by 15 at the moment. 53-38 Pacific. We'll take the break along the Pacific Tigers Radio Network.
What is our way? Our way is unrelenting. Imposing as the mountaintops to our east, strong as the ocean to our west. Our way is forward, challenged by past achievement, expecting future success. Our way is committed, devoted, passionate. Our way fuels us to be different, to be inspired, to have faith in each other. What is our way? Our way is right.
We, the student athletes, coaches,
administrators, and fans of the West Coast Conference,
respectfully represent the values of all West Coast Conference institutions,
and celebrate performance
through sport rather than negative behavior,
physical and verbal attacks, obscene gestures, taunting,
and displays of profane language are not tolerated.
We are committed to positive sportsmanship
that represents our conference, our school,
our team, and ourselves.
Don Gubbins back courtside. Fourth quarter about to begin. The Tigers outscore Weber State 17-8 in that third period officially to take the 15-point lead going into the final stanza here. It'll be Weber State basketball to open up the fourth quarter. Tigers have McDavid out there with Rondawa, Tillman, Higgins, and Triggetson. Tigers pressure continues to really give Weber State some problems. That time Graves was caught along that right sideline, almost at the baseline intersection. Ball goes off for the Tigers. Turnover numbers 23-10. Weber State with 23 turnovers. That has given the Tigers 22 points in this basketball game. A 15-point advantage for the Tigers at this point. We got a clock clarification being ironed out here courtside. Tigers back in action next week from tomorrow right here on the home court. It'll be Indiana State invading the Spano Center as part of the Tiger Turkey Tip-Off, the two-day tournament starting next Friday afternoon. Here's a steal, and Rondawa with a beautiful bounce pass to Tillman, who goes on to score off the window. Tillman with the basket, Rondawa with the assist. A beautiful no-look bounce pass to Liana, who floated it high off the window. And nice camera work by our in-crew staff here inside the arena. Michael January and his crew with a nice replay for those of you watching. Then Watkins in transition, gets a bucket underneath. Wide open is Brooklyn McDavid, who banks it in. Watkins, who scored on one end, was late getting back, and the Tigers found McDavid wide open underneath. Brooklyn goes on to score her easiest points of the ball game. 15 points for Brooklyn. Trickinson has 17 to lead the Tigers this afternoon. Tillman now has 11. She's in double figures as well. And speaking of Tillman, she gets a steal, working hard in the low post on defense. Ball deflects over to Higgins in transition off of Brooklyn McDavid, and Higgins scores inside. Tigers had a 3-on-1 there. Brooklyn deflected it smartly over to Higgins as Brooklyn was off balance off that tough pass attempt. Higgins goes on to score. Now another turnover. Higgins has a breakout and will score with a right hand. Coach Harris wants the timeout as all of a sudden Weber State's just throwing the ball all over the place. And the Tigers have opened it up to a 21-point advantage, much to the delight of 3,500 elementary and junior high school kids here inside the arena on Education Day. That time Watkins' pass, she was the culprit. That led to a breakout and a Higgins easy score inside, and the Tigers have taken a 15-point lead to start the quarter and have expanded on that by 6 points in a minute and a half. The 21-point advantage is the largest lead now of the afternoon for Pacific. If you joined us late, Weber State got off to a terrific start as the Tigers sleptwalked through that first period. Weber State outscored Pacific after one, 22-9. And since then, the Tigers have outscored Weber State 52-18. Tigers held the Wildcats to 8 points in the second and third quarters. I mentioned Indiana State will be in the Spano Center, 4:30 tip a week from tomorrow. The Tiger Turkey tip-off. The early game in the tournament, the game that'll precede that one, will be SMU, Southern Methodist University will take on Cal State University Northridge. That'll be a 2 o'clock tip in the first game of the tournament. And then the winner of both games on Friday will tip off at 3:30 a week from Saturday. So that'll be a fun one. Some good teams coming into the Spano Center a week from tomorrow. Indiana State, Cal State Northridge, and SMU. 61-40. Weber State with the basketball in the half court. Tigers still swarming defense. Watkins finds a nice bounce pass off the weak side. Liz Graves can't handle it well. The Tigers had great pressure. Graves couldn't handle the nice bounce pass from Watkins, slashing in from the weak side there. And then out of her frustration, grabs one of the Tigers as they made their way up court. It's a personal foul on Liz Graves. Her third personal foul. 8 minutes to go in the ball game. Tigers enjoying a 21-point advantage. Have the ball to Higgins up top. She finds McDavid. Back to Higgins in the corner. Over to Triggerson. Quick release. Fires from three. Ball pops out. It was halfway down as the bench was ready to erupt there. The Tigers have Rondawa out there with Tillman, Triggerson, McDavid. And Rondawa. Sophie playing aggressive defense out on the perimeter, and it gets called for a body check there. Boy, the Tigers not getting the some of those calls that Weber State's getting out on the perimeter with the aggressive defense. Bradley Davis not looking too happy about that call, but Weber State will inbound it along the sideline right in front of their bench. Trailing by 21 points. Now the ball dribbles off of Chamberlain's foot. Tigers have a steal. Outlet pass to Tillman, who has an uncontested layup with the right hand. Beautiful long feed. I don't know if that was Rondawa or Triggerson who threw about a 60-foot pass off of that Weber State turnover. Rondawa tries to overplay a left wing feed. Now the ball gets into the low post for Weber State, and another foul call on the Tigers. Well, what are they going to get here? Oh, it's a jump ball call. That was a good call as inside Sierra James was going to put up a shot. The shot looked like it was blocked as she made her way up, and that caused the jump ball call. And the possession arrow favoring Pacific here, so they'll get possession. Trickinson will come out. Higgins will also come out, and that'll get Newman and Miard back in for the Tigers. Isabel with the ball on the right wing. Finds McDavid for a right elbow jumper that goes in, but we have a foul, a whistle before that shot attempt. Melissa Barlow. Well, she's going to count the bucket. She consulted with her running mate there. But now it's coming over to the monitor. The foul was away from the basketball. McDavid got the Newman pass at the right elbow area. She went and made the shot as she was putting the ball up. It looked like the foul call was away from the basketball, but Melissa Barlow has not given us official indication here exactly what's going on. She's going to look at the monitor and is waiting for the in-house replay to set itself so she can double check whatever she's questioning. So the Tigers up 65-40. Pacific in the basketball game. The shooting numbers we haven't given you for a while. The Tigers are at 35% from the field. That's about 5 percentage points below where they've been this year. We'll check that. Tigers are actually coming into play today at 44.9% from the field. The Tigers have shot the ball terrifically through the first 3 games, but here today, in spite of the big lead, they're only shooting 35% from the floor. Tigers are at 31.5% from the three-point line. That's 6 points below their season average. Rondawa has the ball, gives it over to McDavid. To Newman, comes in from the right side, puts up a wild shot, no good. McDavid cleans it up and scores on the offensive rebound. Brooklyn's got 17 points, I believe, now. And a nice move inside by Kayla Watkins. She converts inside at close range. It's 67-42. McDavid has 19 points officially to lead all scorers. Tigers turn it over. On the breakout, Chamberlain avoids 2 Tiger defenders with a beautiful spin move against Miard and banks it in. Nice move by Chamberlain with a right hand. She spun around the defense of Miard. Bradley Davis wants the quick timeout just to talk about something. It's a 30-second timeout. 67-44, and that one will turn into a full timeout apparently. If you're hungry, Tiger fans, head on over to the Lincoln Center at the corners of Pacific Avenue and Benjamin Holt, with over 20 eateries and restaurants. From fine dining to burgers and fries, 3 new restaurants set to open this winter as well. They've got the cure to curb your hunger at the Lincoln Center. I gave you some shooting numbers for the Tigers a moment ago. Weber State, look at their numbers shooting-wise from the field. Weber State is at 43% in the ball game. They're 16 of 37. They've only attempted 37 field goal attempts, largely due to the 28 turnovers they're now up to, which is right at their season average of 28 turnovers. But Weber State shooting pretty good, 43%. They're 5 of 12 from distance. That's 41.7%. So good shooting numbers. They just have to learn to take care of the basketball. The young crew is mostly freshmen and sophomores playing most of the ball game outside of Kayla Watkins, the junior. They've got nothing but freshmen and sophomores out there on the court so far this year. So Coach Harris will, I'm sure, test her patience, but they're learning on the fly here. Rebounding numbers. Tigers are +9 on the boards. Remember, they were a -2 at halftime on the boards, but they're now a +9 in the basketball game on the glass. Tillman takes the entry pass, puts up a shot off the weak side, no good. Fading away from about 10 feet away on the left angle. Tillman misses the shot. Weber State with the basketball. Tilly now 5 of 13 from the floor. She's got 13 points in the ball game. And an offensive foul call on Chamberlain. Good defense by Tillman. Chamberlain bounced off her once and then aggressively went after her a second time, and Tillman picked up the call. It's an offensive foul on Chamberlain. She's got her 3rd personal foul there. 5:40 to go in the basketball game. Randhawa's out there on the right wing. Whitehead on the post. Newman on the wing. And Miard in the post as well. Goes to the rack, misses a shot. Nice rebound there by Jaden Matthews, who boxed out Miard, who went after her own missed shot there. In transition, Matthews has it up top. Right wing feed to Liz Graves. Works along the right baseline against Newman, is fouled as she goes to the rack. Either Newman or Whitehead's going to pick it up, and Graves went hard crashing into Whitehead there into her leg. Newman's going to pick up the personal foul. Liz Graves is going to have to make sure she's got all body parts as she comes up off the floor and takes a deep breath as she makes her way to the free throw line. 5 minutes and 15 seconds remain in this one. It's been all Tigers since the first quarter. 67-44. Liz Graves misses the first free throw a little bit short. Graves in the basketball game is now 4 of 5 at the line. She's got 10 points, make it 11. She converts 1 out of 2 on that trip. Watkins has 15 points to lead the Wildcats. Graves with 11. 8 points for Pencer. She hasn't scored for a while. Newman checks out. Randhawa back in for the Tigers. Or check that, Callie Kaiser in for the Tigers for Izzy. Kalen goes to the rack hard, is fouled, misses the flip shot with the left hand. Well, Kalen's going to get to the free throw line here for a pair. Randhawa in her sophomore year. Played in 31 of 32 games for the Tigers last year. Had a career-high 21 points at Pepperdine in conference play. Makes the first free throw. She'll get the second one as well. It's good. So both free throws good by the Turlock native. Randhawa will increase that free throw percentage coming into play at 50%. She's 2 for 2 today. 69-45. Tigers build on the largest lead now at 24 points. Watkins at the top of the circle, guarded by Whitehead, picks up the dribble, works hard against Havana, and then throws an elbow into Savannah, who gets called for the foul as she was guarding her a little bit too closely up top. Savannah, the redshirt sophomore, flexing her jaw muscles there. She took one in the chops there off the elbow of Watkins and picked up the personal foul to add insult to injury. Now a nice pull-up jumper along the right baseline by the Wildcats. Pencer said it had been a while since she scored. She must have heard me. She took that one aggressively and pulled up and drained the 15-footer. 10 points. She's in double figures for the Wildcats. 69-47 as Callie Kaiser goes into the lane, kicks it out for a Miard. Picks up the dribble, floats up a 10-footer that goes about 9 feet. And then Savannah Whitehead going for an offensive foul is fouled from behind by Watkins. So Savannah's hustle is going to get her a couple of free throws here, I believe, as Weber State's in the penalty with 4:11 to go. Watkins will check out, and that'll get Vicky Parra into the ball game, the 6'2 freshman out of Valencia, Spain. Savannah's first free throw finds its way through the net. Rolled around the rim for a while before it settled in. Whitehead with 3 points in the ball game now. Make it 4. She swishes that one through. The Tigers getting a lot of free throws all of a sudden here in this basketball game. (47-71). Tigers up by 24 points. Inside of 4 minutes to go as the Spaniard works her way to the rack and scores. Nice aggressive move there. For Parra. Tigers with the basketball. Callie Kaiser gets a handoff from Miard, then has no angle to throw a reverse layup off. Good defense there by the Wildcats. Corey Pencer. 3:25 to go. It's all Tigers by 22 as Chamberlain's going to launch for 3. No good. But an offensive rebound by Jaden Matthews. She beat Miard with a long rebound there off the 3-point shot attempt, and then Miard fouls the shooter, going for the offensive putback. So it'll be a couple of free throws for Parra, I believe. No, it's going to be Jaden Matthews who's going to get a couple of free throws. Miard, Kaiser, and Whitehead and Randhawa all check out. And now the Tigers are going to get Cassidy Johnson in there with a couple of freshmen. Sam Ashby, the 5'9 freshman from Perth, Australia, will check in. Madeline Ennis, the other freshman, 5'11 forward out of Burlingame, will check in as well. And so it's Ashby, Johnson, and Ennis getting some cleanup minutes with a little over 3 minutes to go in the game. 71-50, and now a whistle on the Tigers. It's going to be a couple of more free throws here, I believe. This time it's Vicky Parra. Ennis is in the books officially. She picks up the personal foul. Ennis, who played at St. Ignatius Prep in San Francisco. She was the San Francisco Examiner Player of the Year last year. First free throw good by Parra. Second free throw no good. So Parra 1 out of 2. And Cassidy Johnson grabs the rebound, but she's tied up by Matthews. It's a jump ball call. It's a foul call. Matthews is going to pick up the foul call on the arm of Cassidy Johnson. So a lot of free throws going to bring this thing to a grinding halt here for the last 3 minutes. But Ennis, besides being the Examiner Player of the Year, she averaged a double-double in her junior and senior years at St. Ignatius Prep. So she's going to get some minutes here to close out this game along with Sam Ashby. Cassidy Johnson gets 1 of 2 free throws, I believe it was. 72-51. Weber State with the basketball. Chamberlain shakes and bakes against Ennis. The shot against Ashby, my apologies, misses the shot. Tigers come out of the pack with a loose ball rebound. It's Isabel Newman. Finds Tillman on the right wing. Now the dribble penetration. Soft floater is good over 3 defenders. Tillman with a tough degree of difficulty there. Gets it to go, and Liana has 15 points in the ball game. One of 3 Tigers in double figures. Higgins has 9, but she's going to be on the bench the rest of the way. So it's 74-51 with 2:20 to go. Dribbling baseline is Corey Pencer. Misses one of her teammates, but then finds another who scores from 3. I believe that was Loyland who hit that 3-pointer. Down low, the Tigers find Johnson, misses the shot, air ball. There was some contact, but they're not going to call that at this stage of the game. So Cassidy misses the shot, working on the right block. Weber State basketball. 53-74, 21-point advantage for the Tigers. Weber State brings the ball up against man-to-man pressure. The Tigers throwing the pressure full court there. Long 3 in the right corner goes the air ball. Weak side rebound by Newman. Looks for our teammate. It's Ennis. Breaking out of the pack. 2-on-1. Stutter step off the window. Won't go as the ball rolled off the rim. Goes out of bounds off of the Wildcats, so the Tigers retain possession. It was not a well-developed 2-on-1. It was really almost a 3-on-1. Ennis looking to get her first points in her college career. Put up a soft floater on the run, but it would not go. Tigers will inbound it. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Ashby comes on top to Tillman. Backs the dribble off. Now goes to the rack, dumps it off for Cassidy Johnson. Off the window, no good, a little bit short. Cassidy had a good look at it, then goes down to the ground. The 6'5" product from Lehigh is tied up. It's a jump ball call. Cassidy wants to have that one back. You can guarantee it. Tillman gave her a beautiful bounce pass. And CJ just couldn't convert. Weber State basketball as they finally get ready to take the pass and get it in play. Tigers are throwing some token pressure in the backcourt. Weber State almost threw it away with no pressure there. But they get the ball into the front court. With 1:20 to go, they'll go on offense, trailing by 21 points. Diane Loyland backs the dribble off. They go up top to Sierra James. Gets away with a travel, and her pass up top's intercepted by Newman. 2-on-2. Isabel's going to go strong to the rack and score with a scoop shot. Beautifully done to keep the ball between the body of herself and the glass to avoid the defender there. Newman with the interception, the steal, and the bucket. Nicely done by the Tigers junior from Simi Valley, Isabel Newman. Flip shot inside, no good by the Wildcats. That was Graves who missed that one. Out of the pack comes Newman. Finds Ashby with a left corner 3, no good, a little bit short. Tigers got good looks there by Ennis and Ashby and Cassidy Johnson, but they couldn't convert. Then near midcourt, Tigers double team, and that draws a quick 30-second timeout. 28 ticks left on the clock. The Tigers up by 23. They're going to close this one out and go to 3-1 and have a week off to get some more practices in and hopefully get everybody over their colds and whatnot. Get ready to go against the Indiana State Ball Club that'll invade the Spano Center. 4:30 tip a week from tomorrow. All right, so the ball will get back in play. Chamberlain takes it to baseline, is cut off there by Tillman, and then Tillman blocks the shot as Chamberlain tried a reverse layup, and Tigers with 15 seconds left will back it off and probably just dribble this one out here. Pressure up top there by Liz Graves, and she commits the foul. The Tigers were just going to dribble it out, but Liz Graves was working hard on the defensive side and fouls Tillman, so that's going to get Tilly 2 free throws here. So the Tigers have a chance to get up to 78 should Tillman convert both free throws. The first is up and back iron, no good. Tillman in the ball game, 2 of 5 from the free throw line now. Both of them a little strong, but she gets an offensive rebound, and now the Tigers will dribble it out. And that will do it in front of a large crowd of kids on Education Day here at the Spanos Center. The Tigers come out victorious 76-53 here this afternoon. And for the first time in 3 years, the Tigers put on a winning performance on Education Day and go on to win it 76-53, taking control of this basketball game midway through that second quarter. As Tigers get nice balanced scoring attack today. 19 from McDavid, 17 from Triggeson, 13 from Tillman, 9 from Valerie Higgins. And the Tigers dominate the final 3 quarters and go on to win big time here by 23 points and go up in the victory. And we'll get Coach Davis over for a quick word. Hi, Coach. Congratulations. 23-point victory today. It didn't come easy after the first quarter. The Tigers got a very slow start and found yourself with a pretty big hole, 13 points after one, but played a terrific last 3 quarters and win it by 23 here.
Yeah, you can't play much worse than we did in the first quarter. You know, credit to Weber State. They came out, they hit some good shots. But we weren't doing much well at all, offensively or defensively. We just kind of had this glaze over our face, and you could see it out there. So we just tried to keep subbing until we found somebody to give a spark, and once we got that and figured out, we started playing a little bit more the style of play that we've been doing, it got better from there.
Well, it didn't help. Everything they put up in that first quarter seemed to go in, including, I think, 3 or 4 three-pointers. What was the conversation after that first quarter when you brought the troops together before they really started to tuck that defense up in that second quarter with a big-time step up there for you?
Yeah, it was pretty brief. This isn't us, maybe a little bit firmer than that, and you guys figure it out. It's hard you can't make adjustments when the effort isn't there to show what's actually being done on the defensive end or the offensive end. So we just had to pick our effort up and get it going again. And sometimes this early start, these kind of games, that's happened to us the last couple of years. And I thought we started off that way again. So, you know, credit to Weber State on the start, and I got to give our team credit for turning it around.
All right, you had a nice balanced scoring attack in the ball game. Brooklyn finally got some help offensively. Sophie really 17 points today, and then Brooklyn with 19, and Tilly had 15 off your bench today, and 9 points for Higgins, of course, who also came off your bench, not feeling well. But it must be nice to kind of distribute the offense a little bit here this afternoon.
Yeah, when we're able to use our depth, it works out. And it didn't in the first quarter. It took some time to figure out who could come in, but then we started coming in and picking up where one another left off. You know, Sophie's experience and maturity really kind of helped this whole team calm down and get Brooklyn going a little bit inside, which is good. We got a few people under the weather, but we can't use that as an excuse. We have to come out ready to go, and I just didn't think we were ready to go.
All right, the Tigers defense, you end up forcing them into 31 turnovers in this basketball game, which yielded 34 points for you. So certainly another classic case where your defense, again, really got the offense on track in that second quarter and then was pretty much relentless the rest of the way until you took complete control of this basketball game toward the end of the third quarter.
Well, it's part of the game plan to try to come in and pressure them and see if we can create some turnovers. They've got a young group, and you wanted to kind of take advantage of that. And then the way the game was being called, we felt like we could really turn the pressure up as well. They were letting them play a little bit, which is why we didn't shoot so well in the first quarter and why we started to get some steals and turnovers.
All right, yeah, a lot of physicality out there both ways, and a lot of bodies on the court today. So 15 assists of your 29 baskets. You had a lot of different looks. It was nice in this game. You got your young freshman out there for the last little over 3 minutes. Cassidy, of course, the sophomore. But it was nice to get Madeline and Sam Ashby in the ball game, get them some minutes. That must have been fun for the coaching staff to get those players in the ball game today.
Yeah, I wanted to try to get them a little bit more time with some different lineups, but with the start we had, it just wasn't there. Got passing a little bit at the end of the second quarter, and she did all right there. So it'll be about getting them experience, game by game, and seeing how they mature and how they grow.
All right, so the win puts the Tigers at 3-1. You get a week off before you're back in action against Indiana State a week from tomorrow. Just a quick look ahead. What kind of ball club does that Indiana State bring into the Spano Center a week from tomorrow?
I haven't watched much film, just watched scores. They look like a tough team overall. They played some good games, some good teams. So we know with the conference they're coming from and the style of play, we know that's going to bring some toughness to it. So we've got to be ready for that. And the biggest thing at this point in the season is just making sure we make progress with the little things for us. And starting the game is really going to be one of those things.
All right, you talked about consistency in the pregame show. Do you see a little bit more consistency in what facets of the game today?
Facet of second, third, fourth quarter, not necessarily first quarter. So we're getting there. It's a work in progress. We've got we don't have a lot of new faces to the program, but we've got a lot of new faces on the court. So starting to come together and create that synergy on the floor is going to be important.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the win. You got a week off now to practice, and we'll look forward to seeing you a week from tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Tom.
All right, Bradley Davis joining us courtside, and we always appreciate his time. And we'll look at the final numbers with you as the Tigers are victorious 76-53 here this afternoon. 19 points from McDavid as the Tigers shoot 29 of 75 from the floor today. That's just inside of 39%. So not excellent shooting by any means. Tigers averaging just about 45% coming into play today, but shoot just inside of 39% from the floor. And then 5 of 23, not good shooting there from distance either. The Tigers only at 22% from the three-point line here this afternoon. McDavid's 19 points came on a terrific 9 of 12 shooting from the floor. 17 for Trigginson on 6 of 12 shooting from the field, and 15 points for Tillman. Tilly was 6 of 14 from the floor today for Pacific. 9 points for Higgins on 4 of 7 shooting, and then 4 points each for Randawa and Whitehead. Kaylin was 1 of 6 from the field, and Savannah was only 1 of 4 from the field for her 4 points. Callie Kaiser had 2 points, and had 2 points for Pacific, as did Blakesley. Jess only 1 of 2 from the floor. Tigers are going to have to find a way to get her some more looks out there on the perimeter. Only 2 looks today. She made 1 of them. That was on an offensive rebound putback. And then 1 point for Cassidy Johnson, 1 of 2 at the line for Cass. For Weber State, they were led by Kayla Watkins, 15 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Nice job for the junior, Kayla Watkins. 10 points for Pencer, 11 points for Graves. So 3 players in double figures for the Wildcats here this afternoon. The rest of the scoring went Chamberlain with 6 points. Jaden Matthews, 2 of 4 from the floor for 5 points. Cheyenne Loyland had 4 points on 2 of 4 shooting from the field. And then 2 points for Jaden Matthews. 2 points for Vicky Parra. All at the free throw line where she was 2 of 4. The Tigers converted free throw wise this afternoon, 13 of 22. Not real good at the line either, 59% today. Weber State was 10 of 23 at the line. That's not very good either, 43.5%. So the shooting numbers were not going to wow anybody here this afternoon. The rebounding numbers favored Pacific, 39-34. The Tigers had 15 offensive rebounds. That led to 13 second chance points. So a nice job on the offensive glass for Pacific this afternoon. 5 offensive boards for the Wildcats. That led to 7 second chance points. But the story of this ball game was turnovers. 31 turnovers for Weber State. The Tigers turned those into 34 points here this afternoon. That's your key stat of the ball game. And then Pacific conversely turned it over 11 times, which led to 8 points for Weber State. The City of Stockton, the hard-working player of the game, will make it to Sophie Trigginson this afternoon. The Tigers redshirt senior had 17 points and 2 assists in the basketball game to go with 7 rebounds. So Sophie Trigginson, our City of Stockton hard-working player of the ball game. So that will wrap it up courtside. 76-53 is the final for Michael January and his crew here inside the arena. And we appreciate everybody's help along press row as well. My name's Don Gubbins. We'll talk to you next Friday. We'll be on the air at 4:20 with the pregame show and 4:30 for the tip against Indiana State in the Tiger Turkey tip-off. I wish everyone listening in a very happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you a week from tomorrow right here along the PacificTigers.com. Once again, the final score, Pacific 76, Weber State 53. The Tigers at 3-1. Weber State falls to 0-4. We'll see you a week from Friday. For now, good afternoon, everybody.